Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is Disciples of YouTube turn number 13. I think this is going to be the first, at least in chronological order of recording, of a slightly new style of recording. I'm going to go back, I think, to doing single turns real time. So the videos will be shorter, which will be a benefit to the watchers, and the recording and editing and compilating process will be a little bit less confusing for me, because with the number of games I've got going on right now, starting to waver a little bit about making sure that I keep all the records straight. This way I'll just kind of be able to edit them as I go, shove them in the right folders, and ignore them until it's time to upload them, which will be nice. Also, as I said, the videos will be shorter, but still probably I'll be aiming for around the 20 to 30 minute mark, but of course long turns may take longer, short turns may take less time. We'll see how it goes. For the first year or so of the games, I am still probably going to be compilating the turns just because those turns move really fast, and so one turn per video would be like a 5-minute video, which nobody really cares about. So it is turn number 13. Let's return to our giants rushing across the world. Ooh, we found a magic site in Furia. A burial mound. I love this province. This is a fantastic province. It's so good. I love it so much. Battles. Ulm fought a battle in the Old Coast, crushed some independence. Eriu attacked Satika and won with their little raiding party. In the Norfangs, I wiped out Wolf Tribe with no casualties, as expected. In Plothai, Ulm wiped out Wolf Tribe. In Gweladun, Eriu bounced a scout commander off this province, just checking out to see what was in there. So what province is that? That's right here. So where is Eriu attacking Ulm? Wick, the Old Coast... Ah, Satika, so they're just pushing Ulm straight back. Okay. Then in the Old Forest, let's see this battle. See what happened here. Nothing. Just Anakites murdering province defense, as they do so well. Yep. Murder. And in Vanheim. See if they actually tried to defend with anything. Nope, just province defense. Just a reasonable quantity of province defense. So we're going to get our blessings off, and then we're going to move forward, drop another blessing. My Anakites are split up because some of them are on guard commander duty, and that will be fine. Walls are hardly damaged at all. More time is required to break them down. Oh, there's a false prophet in Norfangs, so I'll have to hunt him out. Not that I really care at the moment. So, 34 siege strength. That tells me they've got probably 20 siege defense or so. Which is fine, to be honest. That's not unexpected. I don't know where this force here has gone. It looks like the infantry have pulled back. And if I recall correctly, they had 2 commanders. So it's entirely possible that the stealthy part of the army is still sneaking around somewhere. Being all sneaky. So I've got Eliakim here, who is, ooh, an astral randomadon. Interesting. We're going to give him a helmet, a copper plate, and a sword of sharpness. If we give him 2 swords of sharpness, yeah, let's give him 2 swords of sharpness, just because I like that. We'll give him 8 Anakites in a line. We're going to put them right here. Eliakim will be in the middle, and he, of course, is going to bless, and then attack closest, and they are going to hold and attack closest. So, Eliakim with his forces... Should I go to expansion, or should I send him up to reinforce the attack on Vanheim? I'm thinking reinforce the attack on Vanheim. Also, I don't know where that Eriu commander came from that attacked Gweladun. Because there's no Eriu province right nearby. Must have come from Jira, I guess. So, Makamron has taken this province back. Could bounce him down, but I think I'm going to move him northward. He's got 3 Anakites. We've got 6 Anakites there. And, of course, we already have 7 standing on Vanheim. Zevadiah. I think what I'm actually going to do is... because they'll be expecting the advance and spells tactic now, so I'm going to shift it up a little bit. I'm going to have him... instead of advance and spells, we're going to have him hold. And then just cast spells. With 2 bodyguards. That'll be fine. And then those 5 will, of course, attack closest. So, Lotan is going to hold Vanheim under siege. Over here, I'm pumping out some... a whole bunch of human slaves, actually. Don't stop recruiting an Edomite scout. I need money. More than I need Edomite scouts right at the moment. Down here, what I want is 500 gold to build a lab. So, let's keep recruiting an Adon. Well, no, let's not recruit an Adon, actually. Come to think of it. An Adon is 290 gold. Let's recruit our first actual mage here. And then we'll recruit 1 Ahiman. And Baal Esir will build a lab. And next turn the fort will be up, and we'll be able to begin recruiting sages here. With a lab and a temple, we could also recruit bone readers, which could be interesting. They're very inefficient researchers is the problem. But they can get us into air. Because otherwise, I don't have air. Yeah, otherwise I have no air whatsoever. So recruiting at least a few of those guys in order to site search for air will be quite valuable. Now, down here, we've got Bandar Log, who is next to Satis. And that is the capital of Bandar Log itself. That is a palisades with Tiger Riders in it. Tiger Riders are actually quite an impressive sacred unit overall. They have 3 attacks each. They have high defense skill, reasonable protection. They have forest survival. They apparently reincarnate, although I don't think they come back as Tiger Riders, at least usually not. Overall, very solid. Not nearly so expensive as Anakites, but with a lot of the same utility because they do have multiple attacks and at reasonably high attack and defense skill. Now, also, they can stack 2 per square. So Tiger Riders are pretty solid. Probably the best part of Bandar Log, to be fully honest. Outside the Tiger Riders, Bandar Log is, I would say, I think general consensus is that Bandar Log is one of the strongest of the monkey nations. It's like Bandar Log and Lanka. They've got lots of astral and nature with some sidelines and other things. They can form communions very effectively, although the Rishi are really their only native non-astral / nature magic. But the Tiger Riders are good, Rishis are powerful, and they have really, really cheap, not Brahmins, they have cheap communion slaves who are also very efficient researchers. So that's good for them. Troop-wise, they're not super impressive. Bandar warriors aren't great. They're size 3 and their stats are fairly mediocre except strength. So, they're not great. White ones are also not fantastic because their protection is mediocre, their skills are good, but they're a little bit expensive for what they give you, given that they only have 1 falchion attack. Royal Swordsmen are pretty solid, I guess, but it's mainly Tiger Riders. And then, of course, they can use War Elephants to expand against independence if they want to. So, that said, I'm not terribly scared of them still, unless they've given those Tiger Riders a super incredulous bless. They still can't fight my Anakites. And Bon Jovi... Nope, I need to find Bon Jovi. King of Kings, Master of Fate, Destroyer of Demons, that reads as high astral to me. So I don't know that he has a whole lot of other blesses. Now the question is, what to do with Enosh? He's taken Norfangs here. We're gonna pump some defense into it. I'm building a palisades there. Actually, I have 80 gold. Why don't we take out a few of those human slaves in order to grab a second Anakite? So Eliakim is going to go down here, I think, and take Eagle Reach Mountains, and I will let Mechlin know that I'm doing that. And I don't imagine Mechlin will contest it too sharply because Eagle Warriors will not beat Anakites led by an Adon. Or should I do that? Do I even care about this province? I actually don't care about this province much. Its income is low, its resources are low, its population is very low, it's not in a cap circle. Well, it's next to Furia, so I do kind of care about it because it will give me resources. So yeah, I'm gonna go take Eagle Reach Mountains. With Eliakim, Makamaron and Zevadiah should be able to definitely hold the siege down. 31 siege strength there on top of the 34 I have. And then once, he only has 17 siege strength because he only has 4 Anakites. But still, that plus a big old pack of random human slaves will basically do it for me. I could recruit Rephite commanders, or I could recruit regular commanders. And overall, I would prefer to recruit regular commanders because they're cheaper. Like, it's objectively less gold per command point. I do definitely need to get a lab in this province, in Vokan, as soon as possible. But it'll have to wait until Baal Isir or this Rephite Sage that I'm recruiting can move over there. So it'll be a couple of turns. I also need to take Inarime, and Inarime is actually a more valuable province than Eagle Reach Mountains. And it's an equal distance away. Enosh, can you get... You can. Okay, so Enosh will come back up there, then take Inarime. Eliakim will take Eagle Reach Mountains, and then Eliakim is going to begin to push Eriu, because this whole raiding me with impunity thing, I'm not a big fan. I think Lotan can hold the siege of Vanheim just fine, and I already know I'm not going to be killing them anytime soon, so we're going to send Zevadiah over here to take Scraw Point. Now, Vanheim definitely took advantage of their turn of freedom to recruit whatever they had the money to recruit, which I'm sure was a Van Jarl, and also probably some Vans. That Van Jarl and those Vans are probably going to go raid me. At least it's what I would do in his position, because he must know he's not breaking out anytime real soon. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with that. Eriu, by the way, must be fairly crippled. They did kill Ulm's scout on Eriu, but considering the number of mages they've lost, like here in Setica they had 1 Sea Lord. I've killed, 5 Sea Lords, plus pretty much all of the mages Vanheim ever recruited. You know, that's almost half of their total mage recruitment is just dead at the hands of the Anakites. And they're not getting it back. So that puts them at a very severe disadvantage. Now, I have suffered some casualties as well. I also don't have many mages, although admittedly that's because I've been recruiting some slow to recruit mages as well. So that's 4 turns of production there in those 2 Adons, 5 turns there in Baal Isir, 6 turns, 7 turns, 8 turns out of the 12 turns I've been able to recruit. So I have lost... Actually, oh, there were a couple turns I didn't recruit commanders, that's right. But overall, I think I'm in a much better place. They have better research than me, I'm sure, because my only research has been Mr. Ed the Talking Horse. I have only recruited 1 actual mage up until this point. Everything else has been literally any other unit. And of course my research is a garbage fire in general because I'm in a Drain 3 domain. So this lovely Emite is giving me 6 points of research for the 125 gold I spent on him. But Rephite Sages will still give me 10 for 155, which is bad, but not unendurably bad. Especially when I can get Owl Quills from Ulm for very cheap. I am probably going to start sending Ulm my gems at this point, or at least some of my gems, because for one thing, I know he could use hammers. So, I am going to send Ulm 20 earth gems to forge hammers, and I'm also going to send him, since I'm not using them yet, I'm also going to send him 10 air gems to turn into quills and distribute among the both of us, because once he has hammers, he can churn out quills for 1 gem from air random master smiths. As remember, these master smiths here, 20% chance of a random, so 5% of them, 5 out of 100 are air random. He may well not have one yet. Actually, I think he said he does have one already. So yeah, as soon as he builds a hammer, he'll just be able to set that guy to churning out 1 gem Owl Quills forever. and every one of those is +5 research. So for me, every owl quill I get is literally almost as much as an Emite when it comes to research. So that will help keep my research somewhat competitive, while I am finishing the destruction of Vanheim. Have to build up a whole bunch of human slaves, and then, like I said last time, I'm not even going to actually assault the castle with them. I'm just probably going to send in the Anakites, because there's no way Vanheim has anything here that can stop my Anakites, unless his god wakes up and his god is super dangerous. That said, his Bless doesn't have any protection buffs, and he can't have done hardly any research because I've killed so many of his mages. So, I mean, at worst, at absolute worst, he maybe has a god who took earth magic to get the protection buff from it, and took nature and so can regenerate. And I don't think a protection buffed regenerating god can live through the damage that a whole bunch of Anakites can put out. I just don't think it's possible. So yeah. I think it will be relatively simple to wipe out Vanheim at this point. I think he's basically out of tricks. Now, I've said things like that before and been horribly, terribly, awfully, very wrong. So don't take it as gospel by any means. But just going to keep pumping out Anakites, keep pumping out human slaves for siege fodder over there, move them up, and hold the city down until the gates fall, and then we will rush in and storm the place. Eriu is more dangerous, but Eriu still isn't all that dangerous. Honestly, to be fully, completely honest, I'm actually a lot more worried about Satis and Pangaea than I am. I'm more worried about either Satis or Pangaea than I am about the remnants of this team, because this team is beaten and battered and running out of resources. Satis is doing fine. Pangaea, it looks like, as I mentioned, Pangaea is under attack by Nazca and Mictlan. And Pangaea's god is a worm. Okay. There's Sephiroth Weed Lord Goku 420, the worm. Nice to see you, bro. So, also, interestingly, Hall of Fame. Let me see. Pony the First, who is dead, had 40 kills. Melrone, who is dead, had 22 kills. Eri, Pony the Second, both of whom are dead, had 11 and 16, respectively. And then David Bowie and Michael Jackson are paladins. Enosh has extraordinary agility. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's actually my only guy in the Hall of Fame so far. I think it's because my Anakites murder everything so quickly that the leaders don't really get a chance to do much. And to be fair, up until Enosh was my first actual Adon. All my other expansion parties before him were led by priests. So Enosh has extraordinary agility, which gives him better attack and defense, which makes his stats even more absurd. And that will go up as he lives longer and longer, and he will live for a good long time. Speaking of that, however, since I actually do have some magic, I don't have Conjuration, so he can't actually cast Strength of Giants yet. Plus, that would be a waste of time. I need Alteration in order for Enosh to use his Earth magic to buff his protection, which he could do very significantly because his natural protection is only 4. But let's hit Conjuration first, and then we'll go down Alteration a couple of levels. Alteration level 2 would give me Stone Skin, which would allow my Anakites to make themselves significantly tougher. In any case, that is going to be the turn. Taking that province back, moving up here. Next turn, we'll take that province, that province, that province, and probably this province. And it'll be good. Although I may actually move Zebediah in to help besiege Vanheim, just to make sure they don't pull something cheeky and get rid of me. Because the last thing I want is for Vanheim to break out yet again. Every time they break out, it just delays the inevitable demise. And I would prefer that the inevitable demise be delayed as little as possible. I am wondering where that Sea Lord that was here in Scraw Point went. He might have withdrawn, but I doubt it. I would bet that he snuck over to here and is now looking to strike at one of these provinces, or possibly to try and take Nardago. Although that's risky, because I could always decide to just have Zebediah sit here and wait for that. But more likely, I think he's going to attack one of these two provinces. I'm moving to Haloma. Moving to Haloma is the expected choice because it gets me closer to attacking that province. Losing this province... Like, I don't think I could stack enough province defense here to make a difference. It's just Wolf Tribe. And his Sea Lords can absolutely deal with huge numbers of Wolf Tribe. So, not too bothered about it. I may well lose Kasevic Highlands again. And that would be kind of a pain, but I'll just take it back and kind of ignore the issue. A little bit of raiding is to be expected for as long as this war goes on. Hopefully, over here, Ulm will take the pressure off by basically putting pressure on, especially now that they've got a second fort up, and force Eriu to commit more of their resources to fighting in this area and less of it to raiding me while I finish off Vanheim. So that's to be looked forward to. But anyway, that is turn 13, and I will see you in turn 14. Okay, Disciples of YouTube, turn 14. Let's see how the Giants are doing, shall we? So we've hit Conjuration level 2, battle in Scraw Point. We are attacking Eriu. We've got our little pack of dudes there. This is 1 point of province defense. It is not terribly dangerous. Especially not to these quantities of Anakites. These Anakites could probably take on literally 50 or 60 times that number. Battle in Haloma. So I was attacked in Haloma. And what have we got here? So we've got my province defense plus the Anakites. On the other side, we have a single Downshi and Raban the Commander, or Radan the Commander. Brave soul, Radan. Brave, brave soul. He retreated immediately, so he got off the field. Okay, so it looks like neither of them actually died. Yeah, so he was testing me. We got Misfortune 3 in Haloma, and we got a Famine in Scorpion Cracks. Ram was discovered and attacked in Pangaea. So Pangaea was patrolling with their god. And their god is a statue of fertility. Or was this attack? This was me attacking them. This was me attacking them. Oh, that's right. So. No. No, this was them patrolling. They found me. So they've got... Stop hitting yourself. He took Blood Vengeance. So his Bless, Fire and Shock Resistance, Regeneration, and Blood Vengeance. So, anyone who hits a Blessed Pangaean Sacred has to then make a Magic Resistance roll to avoid taking the damage themselves. Aha. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So 5 Earth, 7 Nature, and 8 Blood. White Centaurs are already pretty dangerous. They're cheap. They're cheap for what they do. And they have a lance attack, a hoof attack, and they can throw javelins. Add Regeneration, and they become quite tough, because they do have 23 hit points. Add Blood Vengeance, and Sacreds like mine, like Anakites, that work by having relatively few of them cut through many, many enemies, run a really serious risk, because anybody who directly does damage to White Centaurs, whether it be by weapons or with spells or anything, they will always have to make this roll, or they will take the damage themselves. And so, especially Anakites, who are liable to cut through multiple opponents in a fairly short order, will have to be making save after save after save after save, and every time they fail, they'll take the damage. My Anakites don't have any defensive bless, they don't have regeneration or anything. So against my Anakites, this will actually work extremely well. He's also got a whole bunch of Harpies, which are just stealthy, weak flying units, and a whole bunch of Satyrs, which I think are his province defense. He's also got Centaur Warriors, who are armored, and he has some regular Centaurs who are not. So, and he's also got his... Who is that? Who is that? Ah, it's a Centaur Hierophant that he's renamed. Okay then. Alright. That's fine. Yeah, there he is. Samos eat, sleep, rave, repeat. Alright, great. Glad you're here, Centaur Hierophant, eat, sleep, rave, repeat. So, okay. Lost my scout, but found out some interesting information in the process. Walls are lightly damaged in Vanheim, and we've completed our giant palisades in Furia. So, we need to upgrade that to a giant fortress. Eliakim, as I said, is going to take that province. Ooh, some sea dogs have besieged this palisade. Unlucky. Also going to take that province. Up here, Macamoron is going to take that province. And look at this. Marignan is coming down on Eriu. And also it looks like Pangaea is coming down on them. So there is just a cluster of enormous proportions happening up there, but that's fine. Mr. Zevadiah is just going to go over here. We are still breaking down the walls slowly, so they can't have more than 30 defense in there. And over here, I've got a full loadout of infantry, but I want to recruit another Anakite. I've got 2 right now. I've got Zariel researching, so I actually have some research for a change. I'm up to 50 per turn. Baal Isser should go up there. Ha! Poetry again! And he's going to build a lab up at Vokan. We're going to take all these human slaves, just give them to Jadros. You can see they got 42 siege strength, so Jadros is going to go over there to help bust down the walls of Vanheim, as he needs to do. We will recruit a human commander. Not on a repeat recruitment. Let's just get 1 for now. And continue. Actually, yeah, human slaves have fewer resources. Militia have protection 5, human slaves have protection 4. They have worse morale, but only slightly, and I honestly don't care about morale. If I wanted to use quality troops, I'd be making heavy infantry. How do those stack up? Well, I run out of resources really, really quick making heavy infantry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's no point. There is no point trying to make my infantry anything other than garbage. It is the Anakites that will serve as my fighting force. But we're getting a Rephite Sage there. I could start recruiting an Adon, or I could recruit 2 Kohens. Well, I could recruit 1 Kohen. Let's get a Rephite Sage for now. And then we'll get a Kohen next turn. Actually, I guess that's going to be 5 Anakites. That'll be enough. Let's get a Kohen right now. And then also, we will spend our 2nd point on an Edomite Scout. Okay, that'll be fine. At some point, we do have to claim this darn throne, but I don't actually have... Like I said before, I don't have anybody who can claim it at the moment, so... Ugh. Ulm, it seems, fought no battles. I just have to say, by the way, Nasajin's been doing really well. He's been performing very solidly. He's been researching construction. He's sent me magic items, so he's supporting the team very, very well. Probably, to be honest, better than I'm supporting him. I mean, my support of him is indirect in the sense that I'm kicking the shit out of a neighbor, which helps. The neighbor we should probably be worried about from his perspective is Satis, because Vanheim is basically crippled and done for, and Eriu is dangerous, but not like a direct threat like this nonsense is. This nonsense is a direct threat, which I don't like. But we will burn that bridge when we come to it. For now, we will continue to, there's other Macamoron. Are you 2 brothers? Are you related? Why don't you move over there? So we'll take that province, we'll take that province, we'll take this province, and we'll take that province this turn. That'll be a nice kick in the pants for the old income. And then, well, yeah, that's 100 between those 2. That's nice. And then we will collapse our Anakites onto Vanheim. About doubling the siege strength there, I think. A little more than doubling it. We'll also move in our human slaves to help break down the castle, and we'll keep chugging in more as we get them. And pretty soon there, we'll have a going concern. I am going to start recruiting. Oh, I'm 81 gold. Okay, well, stop recruiting that scout then. We're going to start recruiting sages, and we're going to recruit sages forever, except when we possibly pause to recruit bone readers once or twice to get some death site searches or something. But we'll need a temple for that, and I'm not building... I'll build some temples. I'll build some temples, but to be honest, my scales aren't really good, so I don't really need to spread them aggressively. I just need to keep my Dominion being pushed a little bit. The only place where I need to spread Dominion is against Satis, because middle-aged Satis... Well, actually, middle-aged Satis' Dominion doesn't have that effect, because Pangea is the god. So never mind, I don't have to worry. Middle-aged Satis' Dominion usually spreads disease. Any commanders or units inside it have a small chance of being diseased. I think it's like 1% per candle in the province per turn. Which isn't very much, but does add up and can sometimes result in you losing a really important commander. But since they are the disciple of Pangea, their Dominion does not have that effect, so I don't need to worry about it, actually. I do need to worry about just there being Pangea, like, having Pangea around is in and of itself worrisome. But that'll be a worry for another day. For right now, we're focusing on remove elf, and we will also be kind of looking at this situation a little bit, sort of filtering people in that direction insofar as we can. Yep, but I think that's going to be the turn, so thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in turn 15, where Vanheim's already screwed. I can't really screw them more very easily. Probably I won't even bother to move both of these onto Vanheim at first. I'll kind of push as much harder as I can. Just keep being aggressive. And then we'll go in and we'll take Vanheim, and we will steal all their stuff. They'll give me some air gems there, and they will also give me earth gems, which will be nice. Earth income. I will basically, a lot of my earth gems I'm just going to be funneling over to Ulm. Because Ulm can turn them into basic items very, very quickly and cheaply. And I would love for him to continue doing that for a long time to come and give me many of them so that I can have items to give to my Adons to make them terrifying. Because terrifying Adons are where it's at. So, as I said before, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next turn. Alright, Disciples of YouTube turn 15. This is when we had agreed to start uploading videos, so you should be seeing the first episode of this game shortly after I record this one, which will be pretty cool. Let's see how things are going for our friendly neighborhood giants. Battle in Chira, wiped out province defense. Battle in Inorime, wiped out independence. I'm not even watching those battles anymore. Battle in Bogaton, wiped out province defense. In Vanheim, oh, a unit was cursed. That's unfortunate. And in Eagle Reach Mountains, got some unrest. Well, that's fine. Let's see how Ulm did in Ultima Delica. Somehow I feel like they won this one. They've got their couple of master smiths, it looks like, casting Stone Skin and Earth Meld. Oh no, Earth Might. Doesn't seem like they're contributing much, but I think Ulm's infantry will be able to carry the day regardless. Oh, there's the Earth Meld. Yep, that pretty much did it. Any casualties? No, didn't expect it. And then there was a battle in Ulm. So Ulm has gotten attacked by some independents. A barbarian horde has come to pillage Ulm. They came to the wrong frickin' neighborhood. That's for sure. Yeah, that didn't go well for those barbarians. In any case, walls are still lightly damaged in Vanheim. But we have wiped Vanheim out, basically. All they've got left is their capital, and there's nothing in there. So, by the way, let's look at the Hall of Fame real quick. Enosh has already gotten into the Hall of Fame. Pretty much all the other members of the Hall of Fame are Sacred Heavy Cavalry. And of the Ariu ones, they're almost all dead. Also, we've got Mahapindar, the Bandar commander, who is a mercenary. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, so this fort, I mean, it's to be expected that he will be recruiting a lot of units in all his forts, but I just don't like it. And the snow is gone, which means I can now move 2 provinces, which is fantastic. Actually, I can move 3 provinces at the right angle. So let's go up here and take that province. Enosh, you should come up north to help us finish up Vanheim. You, another couple turns of recruitment, and you will also have a sufficient pack of slaves. Let's get a scout there. Now, I need you to build a giant fortress, actually. I need you to upgrade, so let me get another commander real quick. Down here, we've got a priest. Swap that out for a... Tell you what, let's get a... I can't quite afford a Zamzamite. But I want one. Let's get a Zamzamite. Because that Zamzamite I will move around to start site searching, which so far I have not done hardly any of. And I need to get some sites searched. Azrael can go over here, and we will attack Eriu next turn, while we're also clearing up the Ogden Mercs. Zevadiah, so this is Marignan. I don't have any particular beef with Marignan. This is Bon Jovi, King of Kings, Master of Fate, Destroyer of Demons. I don't remember what those do exactly. But Marignan does have extra fire and extra astral bless points. So I would expect he's got like magic resistance, magic weapons, increased attack, stuff like that. Zevadiah here is going to take that province. Makamoron, Woodsman, Blowpipes, and Vinemen. Do I think that 3 Anakites can take on 90 Woodsman, Blowpipes, and Vinemen? I mean, probably. Probably they can. But let's just add them to the Siege of Vanheim. And we'll grab a few points of defense everywhere. Those 2 provinces are still defenseless. Yep, let's do that. Over there, and boom, boom. Exactly right. Great. Balisaire will go up here. He'll build a lab. We'll start recruiting mages there. We're recruiting mages here. 2 turns to finish building the fort. And we've got our next gang of Anakites moving out here. We've got Eliakim moving up here. Doing fine overall. Doing very, very well. Definitely gonna have a beef with some... I mean, I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to... who we're gonna fight next. Probably not Bandar Log. Although Bandar Log does have a lot of Tiger Riders up by our borders, but not so worried about them. Am a little worried about Nazca. Although, well, we'll figure it out. For right now, obviously, I'm just busy up here, and I'm gonna take out Vanheim. Gonna roll over here, take out Eriu. That'll be a substantial grip of land. At that point, start having to think about whether we need to finish off Satis. Because killing Satis... Middle-aged Satis has empoisoners. Here, let's look at them. Let me show you. So middle-aged Satis has empoisoners, which are assassins, fairly patient assassins, with death and nature magic. So they're really, really good at assassinating people. Because with nature they can cast Swarm, and with death, if you get into melee with them, they should be able to cast Hand of Death, I believe. No, they can only cast the weaker version. But they can cast Swarm. So, which that automatically makes them really good assassins. They're not terribly stealthy, so they can be found by patrollers, but still. They also have Marsh Masters, which are Death, Nature, and Water mages with a potential to random astral. Satis can cast the spell Foul Vapors very, very easily, which is a Water Nature spell that just inflicts poison damage on everything on the battlefield. It's extremely dangerous, especially if you don't have a lot of poison resistance, which Anakites do not. Like, getting stuck in a long battle with Foul Vapors active is one of the few ways that my Anakites could easily die. Just because it stacks up every round. And Marsh Masters can also summon skeletons, can cast Horde of Skeletons, so they can skeleton spam very effectively. So the traditional Satis strategy is you go into a battle with a whole bunch of crap infantry who are, because you are Satis, poison resistant. Not immune, but resistant. And you cast Foul Vapors with your Marsh Masters, who are pretty much poison immune. And then you spam out 1,000,000 skeletons. And the enemy is put in the position of having to cut through all of your infantry and all of your summoned chaff to get to your mages to win the battle before the Foul Vapors kills all their units. And likely, the Foul Vapors will end up killing a whole bunch of their units after the battle is over anyway. There are spells that give area poison resistance. They only give 5. So Foul Vapors will still do damage through that 5 poison resistance fairly regularly. It ends up being a big problem. So, fighting Satis after they've got Foul Vapors active is a huge pain in the butt. I'm trying to remember where Foul Vapors is. There it is, enchantment level 5. If they hit enchantment level 5, basically middle-aged Satis hits enchantment level 5 and then they've got everything they need. It gives them Foul Vapors. It gives them Horde of Skeletons. It gives them, you know, a lot of the important death summons. It gives them Twiceborn, so their Marsh Masters can't be killed permanently if they don't want them to. Once they hit that level, they're very, very hard to stop. They may be close to it at this point. If they've been focusing on it, which they really should have been, because my research has been abominably slow and I've been splitting it up, and I still am up to level 3, level 2. They might be either at or really, really close to being at level 5 now. Which is, of course, a little bit frightening, but, you know, we'll deal with that as it comes. For now, I just have to focus on killing Vanaheim and then Eriu. Already got those wars kind of locked in. After that, we'll kind of have to see what happens. Looks like... oh yeah, those knights. Well, we should take those knights out, and then we will determine where we're going from there. He's got a fortification down here that's already upgraded. Good for him. My fort's is still a couple turns away from being upgraded. But soon enough, we will finish off the Dirty Dirty Elves and the other Dirty Dirty Elves, and then we will move on to not sure who, but either Satis or Marignon, I think. I think I don't necessarily want to attack the Nazca Mictlan team until a little bit later in the game. I mean, the Mictlan team will always have their Eagle Warriors, who will always be crazy blessed, but we'll see. I'd rather have my magic, my battle magic, active before I go in after them. Which means, in my case, I also need to hit Enchantment 5 for Skeleton and such from Zamzamites and Death Summons. And I also need to hit... my Riphite Sages are Fire, Earth, and Astral, which means I need to hit, like, I need to get a little bit of Thaumaturgy, I need to get some Evocation. I definitely need to get some Alteration. And my Emites have the Death Astral Crosspath, which is Evocation. Tell my Elders you don't really want to take into combat. I mean, they are level 3 mages, but they're single path level 3 mages that don't have a whole lot going for them. They do have a Forge bonus, but they're terribly inefficient researchers, so you don't recruit many of them. Mainly, your combat magic is going to be Zamzamites and then small Sage Communions backing up somebody. So in any case, that is going to be turn 15. Stay tuned, I will catch you in turn 16. This is probably going to take several turns, like I've said before. Right now I've got 34 siege strength is breaking them down slowly. We'll add 41 here. We will add 17 there. We'll add 32 here. Really? Only 32? Oh yeah, I guess it's the same number of them. And we'll whittle them down, but you know, it's a 500 wall integrity fort. It'll take a little while. His god is almost certainly going to wake up before we breach. The gods wake up in half the time that disciples wake up in half the time that pretender gods do, and since they went with an imprisoned, he should be waking up sometime between between next turn and turn 20 or something like that. So probably he'll be awake before we kick down the door, and we'll have to deal with him, but I think the Anakites can deal with him. He'll be blessed, of course, but I can't picture that we'll have too much trouble with it when we have this many Anakites all in one place. And then, like I said, the human chaff we won't even bring onto the field. It'll just be an Anakite party. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you in turn 16.